just show what's left of my old bikes here on live stream. But because I can talk more detail in with this. So, if you guys remember, the absolute rustiest bike I have ever seen. I got this one off of a former friend whom I no longer talk to, and I could care less. But I just now noticed something. Even that front end derailleur is rusted. The whole back side of the bike frame is rusting. And I only rode this bike for a couple of years. This is the rear derailleur. I bet if I bend that off, I can get that chain out of there. I can save that derailleur too. But I'm not even going to try. The back brakes are worn. And the reason why this one's going to scrap is mainly because of the rust. That shock tower on the front side is collapsed in. So, even the kickstand is starting to rust. And another reason why this is going is because the bearing went out of that rim a couple of years ago. So this bike's actually been sitting around doing absolutely nothing for 2 years. Oh my. This bike here, if you look, if you see how this shock tower is actually collapsing, it's starting to cave in. This one here is in 2 different spots. Kink in there and there. Now I'm thinking it could be from when I hit a bump. And this bike has got rust on the inside of that strut tower. The shock tower. I call it strut tower, but it's a shock tower. There could be so much rust in there. So when I hit a bump, it just like started caving in. As you can see, even up around there's lots of rust. Even lots of rust on the handlebars. The chain is rusted. But the only thing that's good on this bike, believe it or not, is the bearings on this pedal. Nice and smooth. But the bearing gave out on me one day on a bike ride. And it sheared the bolts off the side of it. Flung them across the road. And then that was the end. The rim is absolute garbage, unless you get a new axle, a whole new bearing. But it's not worth fixing the bearing on this bike, because as you can see, the spokes are starting to rust out. And on one side, the rim is actually bent. I'm not sure what's, yeah, right there. You see a little bend right there in the rim. So that rim's absolute garbage, and you can see it right there. This rim is actually absolute garbage. But the tire's good, so I might try to get a little bit of money out of it. On to this bike. This bike's from around 1999. Mr. Wasp. But this bike's from around 1999. It's pretty much time to retire this, because we're going to work from back to front. Starting with the back issue was that derailleur. Every time I pedaled, this thing had play in it. Too much play, more than a derailleur should have. It should not have any kind of play in it at all. And moving on, I salvaged the brake pads off of this, And I also salvaged the front derailleur as it was still in good shape. Up next, the next thing that was going bad on this the bearings in there is going bad. Even the bearings inside that. See how that's wobbling? That is not good. That means the bearing's going out of the pedals too. I also rode this bike for about 14 years. So, I salvaged brake pads off of that. The bike seat. I'm moving up to the front, which there's also a rust coming in here. And a little bit of rust there. Nothing up through here. Then you get up in here. This is when you start seeing the rust bubbles starting to form. Even up in there. And then around this area. Now, I've never seen a bike do this. So, there's rust and paint flaking off of this. Also, another reason why this thing is going to the junkyard, I'm just going to send it to scrap, is because the bearing in here is bad. And really the only thing that was holding this bicycle together was what's left of the bottom bearing here. Hear that? Bunch of stuff going wrong in here and there. There's basically no bearings up here. Absolutely nothing left. So really the only thing that was holding this bike together is just what's left down here. And as you can tell, it's actually starting to let go down there. Even there's probably some rust up in there. I'm not sure in there, but there's a cap missing. So I pretty much salvaged everything off this bike I could. And the rim I was using was off my mom's bike. And we put that back on there. And I also salvaged that front rim. And then I put it in storage. Now, you're probably wondering, what's going to happen from here. Well, probably within the next few videos, what we're going to do is actually air up the tires on this and then see how well the brakes grab. Now, I did move it by hand and push it, and it seemed to grab pretty well. Seems to be in fairly good shape. A little bit of rust coming in. Hello, Zane. Yeah, the brakes work pretty good. But a little bit of rust from it setting. It is a Mongoose, but this is a lady's bike, but it's my mom's bike. I rode it there for a while because my bike broke at one point, and I rode it for a while. And the thing is about this bike, something very unique about this bike is some bicycles do not have disc brakes in the front. This one in the front has a disc brake. I don't know, how many if people have problems with those, but this has a disc brake in the front and normal brakes at the back. And it looks like a little bit of, I don't know what that crap is, but a little bit of rust coming in on the rim. And a little bit of rust there, but you know, this bike still has plenty of life left in it. Even plenty of life left in the bearings of these pedals, so. And there's no way the bearings will be locked up in that back rim because it was on my bike for the longest time. This bike has the dual suspension option on it. And even the brake pedals or brake frame is starting to show a little bit of rust. Other than that, this bike is actually in really good shape. This whole bike. No, this is my mom's bike, Aaron. But other than that, this whole bike looks to be in fairly good shape. It's still got plenty of life left in it, so. My bike over here is over here. Now, the one you've been waiting to see, guys, is my new bike. This is my new bike. This bike is from around 2015. This bike is about 6 years old, actually. I have my lights on this bike. I even have lights on the rim, right there on the spokes, front and back side. I got a red LED light at the bottom of the bike, and my tail light. Now, and the thing is, bikes that start to rust out and they start to get up in the shock towers, guys, this is something you want to pay attention for. It ain't doing anything here. As you can see, the sun is out, starting to cloud up off in the southwest. Oh man, I've had this since Easter. Starting to show a little bit of wear on the bike from riding on the road, but you know, because out here there's not any sidewalks available to be riding on. You know what? How about we start the mower on the live stream? And that rim there is junk. The stream will remain up. Now we're going to start the mower. See if we can get it started. Dang. There's still a little bit of fuel in there, so but anyway, guys, I wanted to show you that. I've actually kept that mower started all winter when I could. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream, nonetheless. Our old mower don't even run. It's making a ticking sound, so it's cooling off. All right. So, that was a 2007, this is a 2007 Snapper self-propelled lawnmower with a Briggs & Stratton engine. This is the EX. This is a 140cc engine. 5.5 foot-pound of gross torque. This thing is supposed to run at 2,600 RPM. And this actually has the 21-inch cut. And this is a front-wheel drive machine because it is a self-propelled mower. Also has the option where you can hook the water hose up to it and run water underneath the deck, and then start the engine, have the blade swish the water around, and rinse the underside of the mower out. So, anyway, guys, thanks for watching, y'all. I'll see y'all next time.